Wow. Okay. It's been a minute. Um, Hi, my name's Christina, and I am ccmadethat on Instagram, Ravelry, Blue Sky, what have you, and on YouTube. It has been a minute since I've recorded, mostly because recording and editing and posting and the whole shebang is a lot. I love it, but I just didn't have enough bandwidth. But I'm here again. Anyways, for those returning, welcome back. For those who are new, hi. Did I say hi already? I did. Hi, I'm Christina. I live in Oakland, California with my partner, and as you saw, or can't see right off the screen, my little senior boy, Jordy. He's very vocal, so he'll probably meow a whole bunch in this time. But I'm here to talk about my January makes, um, mostly knitting. I do sew, I do spin yarn, but right now, knitting speaking to me. Um, for those of you that don't know, I have been knitting on and off for quite a while, but did not take it seriously um, until 2021, in which I discovered the world of garment knitting. Of course, knitting more than a scarf or a dishcloth was very exciting. So here we are now. I'm completely obsessed. So um, this time around, I'm just going to talk about some knitting projects I've finished in January and my February plans, which is also all knitting. It's winter. I mean, it's California winter, but winter all the same. So I get to be cozy at home and knit. So I'm gonna start with what I'm wearing because I just finished it and it's glorious. So I'm gonna stand up. Ugh. Okay, so this is the Yoon sweater. I guess I should open my journal so I can look at my notes. I'm clearly very not practiced in this, talking to the camera thing. So, let me open my notebook. First notebook show and tell. Anyone really super relate to these stickers? Because, you know, very 2025. Okay, so this is the Yoon sweater. This is by On Fiskum Sund of November Knits. And I knit this in Cloudborn wool worsted. And this is in the shade Fog. It is discontinued, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Oh. And lovely, lovely mohair silk from Amarisu. It's Amarisu Drift. It's 60% mohair, 40% silk. So as you can see, I wasn't super loving this color. Like I've had this for probably close to 2 years, and it just like wasn't speaking to me. Then I got this mohair silk at Sacred Cheap last year in Portland, Oregon. And as you can see, there is some blues, some light pinks, some greens, and I just thought, oh, these would look so nice together and kind of soften up this like drab looking blue. So here we are. So the sweater is top down raglan. I love the raglan details. It's actually the 2x2 rib that just flows straight into the raglan, which is really cool. It's 2x2 rib, folded over collar, raglan increases, and then this really fun, super long split hem with 2x2 ribbing. And in her pattern, the ribbing here is much longer, but I just liked the proportions of like shortening it a little bit for, my preference. I kept the ribbing the same amount here, super long, 5-inch, 2x2 ribbed cuff. And yeah, it's glorious. I have no other words for the yeah, I don't know, no more words. But I do have notes. Thus the notebook. So I did knit a size 4, which ends in a finished 50-inch bust. And my bust currently is 44 inches, so it gives me 6 inches of positive ease. And I think based on her recommended amount of ease, this is a size down. So I sized down on this, so you can imagine like anything in a bigger size would give me a lot more ease. But I am very happy with the fact that I sized down. It still gave me positive ease, still fits great. And also, obviously I used the English instructions, and I would say this pattern, while somewhat simple in the construction methods, raglan shaping, German short row shaping, ribbing, splitting hems, and then also I don't know if she recommends a tubular bind off for 2x2 rib, but maybe she does. Those are all fairly straightforward, but I would not recommend this pattern for an absolute beginner. And that's because I think the English translation is sparse on the details. The English translation only has metric, not a problem for me, as I can just, um, translate the metric to imperial measurements as I go, which is fine. But also, when it comes to the section after you do the ribbed collar and the fold, you fold it over by knitting two together. You start the shaping, which shapes the back and brings it up higher. But the English directions do not describe how to do the German short rows. They just say, for example, like knit this many, turn, purl, and then like repeat till you have like this many. So very sparse. And if you aren't familiar with German short rows, you would feel very lost. So just giving you that word of warning. Or you could just like figure out those instructions and look at a pattern that you have that has like solid German short row instructions and just kind of like swap them. So yeah. So yeah, those are just my notes for this sweater. And of course, the finished product is beautiful, so it was worth it. But just giving you the heads up. Okay, so next finished object for January, I'll share my pressed flowers kerchief. We'll do some glamour shots first. The other side, just for fun. See all the color changes. Oh, Jordy. Okay, so this is a pattern by Amy Christoffers of Savory Knitting. And what's nice is this pattern is free. So I knit this with my partner's hand spun. So my partner does spin yarn, and yeah, I'm leaving these in. So this is my partner's hand spun. The main color, this like kind of orangey pink, is I think from my memory like Corradale, and then it was undyed and he dyed it, my partner, with marigold and onion skins. And then the secondary color that you see all the color changes from is, I can't remember, he got it at a fiber festival, but it's like a silk BFL blend. And yeah, my partner does not knit, so I get the joys of like being able to use it. And so I made this. I started this back in October. I brought it as a travel project for Sacred Sheep and then kind of put it down, and here we are, finished. The only change to the pattern as written is I just did 2 extra repeats so that I had like a little bit bigger of a kerchief, but it was mostly to use up as much of the yarn as possible. So as you can see, giving Major Nona vibes, as Sadie of Spaghetti Western Sewing would say. You know, tie it up. So it's like a little baby shawlette. And as you can see from this lovely texture, this is mosaic knitting, which is knitting like a form of color work knitting in which instead of carrying both colors in every row, you are just using one color at a time and you're utilizing slip stitches to create this pattern. So it's a fun, like easy way to like get started with color work, just to see what it's like to like manage both yarns without the like overwhelm of like holding 2 colors at a time and worrying about that. Fun fact though, it did take me so long to knit this because I don't love mosaic knitting, I found out after this. You know, this is a free pattern, so it's a great way to dip your toe into mosaic knitting and this motif, because Amy has a whole pressed flowers collection. So you can do a sweater, mittens, socks, a cardigan. So this was like nice for me to realize like, oh, okay, maybe I don't want the whole garment, but still a beautiful result all the same. Okay, final one. So this is a test knit. It just came out, I think late last week. This is a test knit from a design by Tori Yu of Tori Knits NYC on Instagram. This is the Curiosity hat. Okay, so this is one viewpoint, but I can turn her inside out, get a whole different look. So I test knit this, and what is lovely is the construction in which you, yeah, that's the whole hat. I'm sure you've seen some hats similar, like the muscle burr hat, but I cast on here with a provisional cast on and then knit all of this with the decreases in a lovely broken seed stitch. I love broken seed stitch. I realized after this, it's like easily, easy to memorize, but also interesting. Like you can still like knit this while watching a movie or something because you can read your stitches pretty well, but also have a little more interesting knitting than like stockinette. So you use two colors in the broken seed stitch, and I used this green is Barocco Lanus Light. It's a sport weight yarn in the shade Limelight. And then I got to use my hand spun. So this was some hand spun Corriedale from Three Waters Farm. The shade is called Cloaked in Shadow. If you check out their Etsy, they, restock the shades, so they might come back with it. It's a really lovely, like, purpley gray and green color story. And yeah, I love it. The hand spun was intended for something else, but I didn't get around to knitting it, and it was perfect for this project. So I knit all of this, and then you remove your provisional cast on, and then just stockinette and decreases, and you've got a hat, and you flip this end side. Requires a little zhuzhing, but it's so cozy because of the like, wow. Okay, because of the because of the double layer plus the folded up brim. This is like 4 layers, and then this is double layered, so super warm, but also very cozy. And while I like the idea of like chunky hats, I don't normally wear them because they just get too hot, you know? So this is like just the right amount. And I have a little bit of room here, but not too much. I could always, put it up a little higher and I have some room, but it's not like a ridiculous, you know what I'm talking about. Those hats that are just like, I don't know what's going on there, but it's a vibe. It's a look. Don't love it, but yeah. I knit the adult small. My head circumference is about 22 inches. I have a somewhat small head. And it fits perfectly. Yeah. So cute. Okay, so those are my finished objects for January. Um, as I said, I'm going to share what I'm working on or planning to work on in February, and hopefully catch you the next time with some more makes, as well as maybe some sewing plans, maybe some more stuff about spinning, but we'll see. Yeah. So, 40. He's like never going to be a quiet cat. So, buckle up. Okay. So, I'll just start with the small things first. I love knitting hats because they're just a quick portable project and fun to knit and quick to knit. I'm not much of a sock knitter. Knitting that small circumference plus small needles sizes hurts my hands, so I can't do it for an extended amount of time, so that's where I stick to hats. So I have two hats casted on to hopefully fit. Go, go, go. To hopefully finish in February. First one, talk about the yarn first. The navy blue. The navy blue is Patton's Classic Wool Worsted, and then the green is Bread and Butter Every Day in the shade Baby Frock. This is in the shade Navy, obviously. And I just cast it on, honestly, like 2 hours ago because I just wanted to feel alive. So, lovely texture. This is from the book Knit by Rose Knitwear, Alice Hoyle, Dynamic Patterns and Techniques for Creative Making. This just came out fairly recently, and it's a lovely knitting book. I highly recommend you check it out from the library. Ask a friend if they have it before you shell out for the book. But it's great. I am knitting the Escher beanie. Ooh, there we go. So, lovely little slip rib stitch pattern that just gives you like endless possibilities for color combinations. Ooh. Like, this is the front side, but like the wrong side looks cool as well. So, yeah, we got that. And then I also have another hat in this like really weird deformed cake. This is the hipster hat by Petite Knit. Petite Knit needs no introduction, as you know. I'm obviously, as you can tell from this project, I'm loving 2x2 rib, so I decided to cast this on in some special yarn. I got this at Sacred Sheep. This is Ritual Dye's Elder Base. Yes. So, Ritual Dye's Elder Base. Come on. In the shade Hyacinth. It is a light worsted weight, 100% Rambouillet wool, 190 yards to 100 grams. Yeah. It is the plumpest, squishiest, like look at that. Like, this cake was caked up twice to like try and like make a cake, but it's so squishy and soft and just like plump that it like just wants to like be this. but it's knitting up beautifully. I got a lot of practice with this sweater and this with tubular bind offs as well as a tubular cast on in 2x2 rib. And I don't know why I've never done it, but it's pretty much just as like easy as doing 1x1 tubular bind offs and cast ons. So I will continue. I love it because it just provides like such a clean finish. Like, look at that. Okay, two hats. I have cast on for a garment in this pile here. I, whoa, recently frogged a vest that I knit. It was the Best Vest by James N. Watts. I knit it in a size larger to have like an oversized vest look, and it was just, I was not wearing it. I don't know, just wasn't getting anywhere. So I decided to frog it, and I'm going to knit a different vest. I am knitting the Avenue vest. No, come on. The Avenue vest. I will share it here. And it's also by Tori Yu of Tori Knits NYC. And it's funny because I'm probably sharing the cover photo, and I think she used the exact same yarn and colorway for her sample, which is Wool Dreamers Mota in the shade 463. And it's just this like fiery, it is like blowing out this fire red orange. So I love knitting with Wool Dreamers Moda, so I'm excited to frog it, to have frogged something and to make something that I will wear a lot more. I have cast it on, but all I have so far is the back panel. So this is the back of the vest. And I'm just knitting the length before I pick up for the front pieces and, you know, do the whole construction thing. So love. I'm excited. I've been wanting to knit more vests, cardigans, layering pieces because while I love my sweaters, I can't wear them all year round, and I feel like I can get away with wearing like a cardigan. Of course, I live in the Bay Area, so it's like 75% of the time I can wear a cardigan or like a vest to layer with in like spring, not deep summer, but you know, in the fall too. So there's that. And the last thing I wanted to share, I have not cast it on yet, but I really do plan to, probably February 1st, but I haven't yet. So I plan on knitting the Sheep Camp sweater by Jennifer Berg, Native Knitter on Instagram. And I am gonna finally use like my hand spun in a garment, which I'm very excited about. I had bought this fiber to make a garment, and I'm really excited to tackle it. So the main color for my Sheep Camp sweater is going to be Pearl Soho Good Wool in the shade Coastline Gray. And while it's gray, it's that lovely thing too where it's like gray but purple. One of my favorite shades. Yeah, so medium gray purple. And I'm pairing it with my hand spun, which is recycled fibers from I'll probably put it down here because Jordy just completely derailed my thought. I cannot remember the mill this comes from. But I was at Fiber Frolic and they were selling recycled fibers from like all of the farms that they get sheep from. They mill into fiber and yarn for processing, and it was like all sorts of different colors. So by the time I got some of the fiber, it was like purples, maybe some orange creamsicle, a little bit of gray, and I was into it. So I got 6 ounces of the fiber and just finished spinning it and last month and cannot wait to cast this on. So let me show you hand spun. Gorge. Yeah. So as you can see, it's giving low contrast, but still lovely and woolly and joyous and everything I want and more. So can't wait to start this. So I'll be working on this in February. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that is it for me. Um, Thank you for joining me on this like first very maybe awkward but also fun episode, sharing my January makes and my February plans, and Jordy interrupting me a bunch. But I hope to see you next time. And if there's anything you want to see from me in the future, let me know. And introduce yourself in the comments since I am back. Yeah, I'll see you next time.